Just now realizing that I didn't really introduce this vlog. So hi, we're starting off at the 100 Chairs exhibition on the last day of Melbourne Design Week. One of my friends, as I mentioned in my last video, has a chair in this exhibition, so I'm initially going for that. But the exhibition was absolutely amazing. There's so many beautiful pieces in there, both experimental and functional. And it was just really cool to see the different ideas and craftsmanship across the same concept of creating a chair. So that was really amazing. And then I stopped in at a few other little solo exhibitions of painters and my favourite shop, House, to find a beautiful vase. And I ended up picking this bowl right here. I love the little feet and the frosted glass. So that's just sitting on my dining table at the moment. I think that's all I really need to preface for the start of the video. So I really hope you enjoy, and yeah. Cuties. The lighting is a little bit intense right now, but we're just gonna go with it. I've recently discovered the Gutenberg Bible on YouTube, and I have fallen in love with her videos, and she talks about this idea of creating a personal curriculum of reading or any sort of research, and I really liked the idea of doing that. And she's currently doing Gothic literature, which I'm also quite interested in as well. But I wanted to sort of build my own list. I already have two that fall under the Gothic literature category. The first being The Monk by Matthew Lewis, and then the second being The Picture of Dorian Gray. So I kind of wanted to build out a list of classical Gothic literature, as well as a few other maybe like horror/thriller classics. I don't really plan to include any sort of contemporary fiction, but I'll see what I find along the way as I'm sort of building my list. But a lot of the older classics, you can also just find PDFs online and download if you don't mind reading off of a screen like an iPad or even your laptop. There is one that was on her list, and I found a PDF of it, and it's called The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. It was published in 1764, so it's old, and I already started it, and the way that it reads, like, it does have that old world sort of language, but it kind of holds up, and it's actually quite humorous. Well, I find it humorous anyway. So I've already started that, but I've just been doing a little bit of research and compiling my list, so I will share that with you. I don't want to make it huge because I don't want to overwhelm myself, and I'm someone who in my later young adult sort of life, I really struggle with discipline. I did gymnastics for the better part of 15 years from a very young age, and I was so disciplined, you know, training 6 days a week, and I was coaching as well and judging at competitions, and I was just heavily involved in the industry, I guess. And I was still involved in the industry for a few years after finishing my training. So yeah, I feel like I've spent a lot of my childhood being extremely disciplined. So in my adult life, I find it very hard to push myself and sort of follow through on things, because I was made to do so many things that I didn't want to do, but I had to. So now when I don't really want to do something or I lose interest, I try not to guilt myself into doing something. However, it is good to push yourself and do hard things. So I want to find like a happy medium of, this is a challenge, but not too much where I'm going to like completely derail and just not follow through. And I feel like doing it for you guys and for my channel, or at least holding myself accountable through this channel and providing you guys updates will really help with that. Now, I did recently read Rebecca, which is technically a 20th century Gothic, and I loved that. So I'm gonna try and find some other ones that fit in the 20th century. But I think to start, I'll be finishing the Castle of Otranto and then starting the Monk, and we'll see how we go, but I'll share my list when it's complete. And then tomorrow I'm doing something really exciting. I'm going to visit my friend Ellie. She lives down the coast and she is studying to be a kinesiologist, and we're gonna do a session, and then I'm just gonna like spend the night at her place, and we're just gonna spend some time together, maybe go down to the beach or go out for a little dinner and really just hang out. I'm so excited. I love kinesiology. One of my friends' mums growing up was a kinesiologist, and I did some sessions with her, and I just find it to be such an amazing like modality of healing and physical and mental therapy and emotional therapy. So there's a few little things happening this week, but it's mostly just work, which is always fun. Yay. Happy Saturday. I'm in search of a book club pick today. Matt and I are going to do our own little book club, so we're going to look together for something to read. We're going to try to keep it under 300 pages just so we don't get into any sort of slump, but we're going to go do that, and then we're going to poke around the shops for a little bit and just kind of enjoy our Saturday. The sun is out today, so that's why I've got my cute little Oak Meadow dress on. It's been so dreary, so I'll take any opportunity to wear this dress. I don't really have much planned for the weekend. I'm going to the markets tomorrow with a friend, which you'll see. We're going to the South Melbourne markets. But yeah, that's what we have in store for the day. It's turned really cold and windy today, so I was gonna maybe go to the cinema tonight because they're doing a showing of Call Me By Your Name. I think it's on for a few weeks though, so I don't definitely have to go tonight. I was thinking about it, but now I'm thinking I just want to stay in because it's freezing. And we'll have dumplings for dinner. And I just really want to read my book. I really want to finish this. I barely got any time to read during the week because I was just so busy with work, and I'm determined. I have this much to go. So I'm thinking that if I just lock in for the evening, I should be able to almost get it finished, if not finish it. But I'm drinking this really yummy tea. It's a genmaicha and it's so yummy. It's like a roasted rice tea and it is so, so delicious. I don't have any honey in it or anything, just as is. And I can see myself having a few more cups of this tonight and maybe even a lemon ginger and then some dumplings later when I get hungry. But yeah, it's just gonna be a chill night in. Sauce. I could honestly drink that. I feel like this in a Bloody Mary would go absolutely crazy. Cheers. I need to like dislodge it. Yum. That is so good. I'm really bad. I'm on the hunt for some fresh flowers, and Chloe just told me about this florist, so I'm gonna check it out and see if I can find anything nice. Also, I haven't given my thoughts yet. We went and saw the Michael Jackson movie on Friday night, and I know there's like mixed opinions on the fact that they didn't touch on any of the allegations against him. However, I loved it. I think that regardless of what you think of the pacing and the storyline as a whole, it just brought like a tear to my eye that his nephew Jafar just embodied him so well. Like, he just did such a beautiful job, and I think as a family, his son Prince was an executive producer or main producer, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I saw an interview of him saying that when he first saw Jafar, when they were doing the first sort of screen tests, that he was like, I needed a minute because I just wanted to hug him because I hadn't seen my dad in a really long time, and that just made me want to absolutely bawl. So I think he did such a good job. Like, it was just uncanny. I do think it was like potentially a little surface level, and I didn't really go into much of Michael's intricacies as a person, but yeah, it was more of a celebration of Michael rather than kind of like digging deep into his real sort of internal life. But regardless, I think that it was so good. I'm on such a Michael Jackson kick now, just like I was after Coachella, just listening to Justin Bieber nonstop. Now I'm just obsessed with Michael Jackson again. I forgot that I actually had one of his records, and I put it on yesterday. I was just like absolutely loving it, cooking breakfast, Saturday morning vibes. So yeah, I'm just heading home from the markets now. I picked up some flowers. I've got an ikebana frog, and I want to do like a little flower arrangement with the poppies that I just bought. I hope I can find it. I know that I've got it somewhere. I just need to dig it out. But I don't really have much on for the rest of the day. So I did some damage. It's not really 100% my fault. I know I said I wouldn't buy any more books, but that was specifically for Europe. Although I just shouldn't say it because I can't really be trusted. But the first ones that I'll show you are, there was a 3 for 2 deal at readings and on the modern classics. And Matt and I have been wanting to do a little book club between the two of us. And we ended up deciding on The Sundial by Shirley Jackson, which I'm super stoked about because the list that I've been putting together for Gothic lit and horror, this was going to be on it for me. And I'm so glad that he was interested in the plot of this. So I'm super, super excited to read this. And then within that deal, we also picked up The Chrysalids by John Wyndham. I've never heard of this before, but Matt picked this out and it's a kind of a sci-fi, I guess you would say. I'm very intrigued about this. And then I also picked up Chess by Stefan Zweig. This will be my first book that I've read by him. It's very short, so I should be able to get through this in one sitting, to be fair, and it'll be my first introduction to his work, which I'm very excited about. Sorry, Pickle's just on my bed. And then on my way home from the grocery store yesterday, I just stopped in at the op shop, which is nearby my house, and I always just have a look in their classics section that they've got. And I got 3 books. 2 of them look basically brand new. The first one is Northanger Abbey, and this was on my list for the Gothic lit reading that I want to be doing. So when I saw it for $2, I just thought it's a perfect opportunity. Felt quite serendipitous. So I picked that up. And then also Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen as well. I don't know. It's just a classic. I feel like I should read it. Again, $2. It literally hasn't been read, I don't think. Like, it's basically brand new. And then another serendipitous moment is I found Henry James' The Turn of the Screw and Other Stories. Again, this was on the list that I was compiling. So it felt like I was meant to go in there and find these books. So I couldn't say no. I think all up at the op shop I spent $6. And I absolutely love this cover. It is a vintage printing of a Penguin Modern Classic. And this one even has quite a few inscriptions and like writing around the edges, although I can't quite make it out because the pencil that they've used is very light. Let me try to find a page. See here, the pencil they've used is really, really light, so I can't quite decipher all of what they're trying to take notes of, but I just thought that was really cool, and it might, I don't know, it might inform my reading experience a little bit, but it does unfortunately have this texture through some of the title there on the spine, but hey, I just thought I couldn't pass up these 2 specifically because it just felt right, and they were on the list that I was compiling anyway, so the universe knew. As for my Gothic lit list, I've broken it up into 3 categories, which is Foundations, 19th century, and 20th century. Everything on the Foundations is basically to explore the origin of the Gothic lit genre itself, and also any other authors that heavily influenced the era. That list includes The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole, which was published in 1764. Secondly is The Monk by Matthew Lewis, which was published in 1796. And then also on that list is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, which is why when I saw it at the op shop, I just said that I had to get it. And then also The Mysteries of Udolpho, which I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but by Anne Radcliffe, that was published in 1794. I think I'll have to find a PDF copy of this online as well. And then moving into the 19th century, I've got Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, published in 1818. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, published in 1847. The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I also have a physical copy of that I thrifted a long time ago as well, published in 1880. And then The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, published in 1898. Again, serendipitous that I found this. And then also Dracula. And then moving into the 20th century, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is found in a lot of recommendations for this sort of reading list, which I've already read. Also Beloved by Toni Morrison, which I haven't read. And then I guess it's more horror, but that's why I wanted to include Shirley Jackson, The Sundial, and then maybe even Haunting of Hill House by her as well. There's a lot of other books that I could include on the list, but these are the ones that I'm going to be reading. That's everything that I have included in my list. Obviously, if you do your own research online, you'll see a lot of other recommendations. But these are kind of more of the cornerstone books that a lot of people are recommending for diving into Gothic lit. I will share my Google Doc in the description below if you want to follow along. I'm not really going to set myself like a timeline to finish these. I'm just gonna plug away at it as I can. But I think it'll be really sort of fun and interesting to be able to really stick to one genre specifically and be able to find common themes and tropes throughout the genre. So I'm quite excited for that. Let me know if you've got a specific genre of fiction that you really love. This vlog has been like a little all over the place, so I apologize for that. But yeah, thank you for spending the week with me. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you've been up to this week. I'll see you in the next one.